The following podcast contains alcohol-enhanced conversations about alcohol, as well as the potential for the discussion about topics of dubious, disturbing, possibly offensive, but usually hilarious interest. The opinions stated herein are solely of the persons making them, and any endorsement of these opinions by any other party is not implied. Foul language is likely, but intolerant viewpoints are not. Listener intoxication is advised. Hello and welcome to episode 52 of the Neat Glass sponsored Whiskey Tangent podcast. I'm Scott.
And I'm Ed.
And today, after neglecting the topic for almost 2 years and having tasted only 8 total expressions in the past 3 years, we're returning at long last to the home of one of our favorite styles of whiskey, Ireland.
Top of the morning to everybody.
The reason being that Irish whiskey is currently in the midst of an incredible renaissance, with new distilleries popping up like green clovers in the spring mist of a cool Irish sun shower.
So grab your shillelaghs and pour a dram.
Hello.
Wow.
Grab your shillelaghs. Hello. And joining us on our virtual journey to the Emerald Isle are 3 of our favorite guests. First, one of the ladies is here today, Drea.
Hey.
Second, Mayor Shavonne is in the house, everyone.
Hi.
And third, the man who's been here to taste 7 of the 8 of the Irish whiskeys to be featured previously. You know him, the Pineys love him, Gabe, the Whiskey Sherpa.
Lucky
Yay.
Charms, bitches.
But before we get to all the tasting and no doubt mayhem, for what we're calling IrishFest 2022, Ed's going to tell us which 5 new Irish whiskey expressions we'll be exploring and hopefully adoring tonight.
Thanks so much, Scott. So we're going to go in proof order so that we drink the highest proof at the end, which is always the best idea, right? When you're already drunk, drink the most proof.
Yes.
So a couple of 80 proofers to start the show. Writer's Tears Copper Pot, and then a very interesting expression, Slane Triple Cask. Moving up to 84 proof, we have Glendalough.
Vandelou.
Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah.
Glendalough. I'm so used to not saying it right the first time. I second guessed myself.
Yeah, I did too.
We then have one of the ones I'm really excited about, the Powers 3 Swallow, as opposed to kind of like the feminist version, Powers Never Swallow.
Oh.
And then the...
Sounds like a terrible porn.
Wow.
It's actually called Powers 3 Spit.
for a busy night for a working girl.
Yeah.
86.4 proof. And lastly, one I've never heard of, but it sounds fun, the Dingle Single Malt Batch number 4 at 93 proof. Super high proof for Irish whiskey.
It really is.
That's the one I think is going to try to sneak over to be Scotchy. I'm worried that some of these are going to try to sneak Scotchy on me when I think I'm drinking Irish.
You never know.
It's going to throw a Mick in front of its name. I fooled you bastards, didn't I?
All right, so before we get to my condensed Irish history, because we did it already, and then the types of Irish whiskey so everyone knows what we're drinking later, we have a special announcement. And Ed is going to make it.
Ooh.
So it's been a long time coming. There was COVID issues and scheduling issues and drinking issues, which caused her to miss an episode. But Drea is the last of the ladies to receive her jacket, and so we have her jacket for her tonight. This is her official 5th episode, and so finally she will be joining the ranks of the jacketed.
Congratulations.
Yeah, take your coat off. Take your coat off.
Oh, wait.
Says Drea, 5-time host, and the ladies.
For the ladies.
Aww.
Thanks so much, guys.
Oh, it's like you're a bowling team.
Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Wow.
Welcome to the club.
I love it. Thank you
Pose it
so
up.
much.
Welcome.
Yeah, we're happy to have 2 other jacket winners here to welcome you to the fraternity sorority. What's they're both?
Club.
The club?
The club.
Yeah. The unisexual club.
The club fraternity.
All right,
Part
so
of the gang now.
so speech.
Yeah, speech.
Whoa.
So
Thank you.
Is it more special getting yours all by yourself instead of part of the group, or do you?
I wish I was on that podcast, though.
I know.
I was so sad.
I know, we missed you.
I know. I saw that group photo. I was like, bitches.
I know, I thought that too. I almost like put you in there.
You should have.
But then I thought that was even worse.
I think
better.
we're going to Photoshop her into it. At least one version. The alternate album cover.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. We're glad you finally made it because
thank you.
we know, actually, sadly, it's sort of bittersweet. Drea's moving out of the area. Like she met someone. She met a really nice guy. We met him right before we recorded tonight, and she's moving to Virginia. Yeah. So people in Virginia, get ready.
Part of Virginia you're moving to?
Virginia, I'm coming for
Norfolk.
you.
Norfolk.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They did invite us to record remotely from Virginia, and we may very well take them up on that. It's a short hop, jump, 6-hour drive.
It's sad, but
Short 6-hour drive.
It's
unfortunately,
only 5.
the jacket stays in Jersey, though.
It's only 5.
No. You're fine. You can take it with you. But you have to come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I will be.
right.
Yeah.
Her
Definitely.
Her whole family's here. We'll definitely get her on again.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I thought maybe we wouldn't ever.
You're
see
part
you
of
again.
you're part of an elite club, and you have
I know.
requirements to fulfill during the podcast.
Right. You have to be a
time.
brand ambassador for the podcast in Virginia now.
And there-
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll give you some cards to distribute.
Or you have to wear your jacket once a month and walk around in it.
There are dues to pay as
So
well.
people ask
I've
questions
learned that the
like,
hard way.
here, listen to this.
All right. So
All right, that's exciting.
Thank you.
Hey, let's
Yeah,
drink.
congratulations.
yeah, so like I said, like I threatened, there's a condensed Irish whiskey history.
Too late for that.
We did a pretty comprehensive Irish history on episode 6. So if you're interested in the full version, go back and listen to that. And then we'll get into the types of Irish whiskeys. There's 4 of them, and we have expressions of each of those tonight. Ireland is arguably the birthplace of whiskey, dating as far back to circa 1000 AD, when monks modified Middle Eastern perfume distilling techniques into a drinkable spirit they called whiskey, which is Gaelic for the Latin phrase aqua vitae, meaning water of life. Between the early 1400s, when the first written records of whiskey appeared, and the mid-1700s, whiskey distilling was freely permitted and taxed by the British Crown only voluntarily. But in 1761, all that changed, requiring distilleries to register and giving rise to illegal poaching, basically Irish moonshine, which became so popular and so widespread that it was cheaper than bread. In the late 18th century, the British government corrected course, making distilling less restrictive, and the illegal trade nearly vanished. However, an additional tax on malted barley inspired the distinctly Irish product known as single pot still, which I'll get to, and helped Irish whiskey become the dominant whiskey style in the world during the 19th century. So much so that when distillers in the US began making whiskey, they spelled it with an EY like the Irish do, instead of with just a Y like the Scottish do. Unfortunately, the 20th century saw a sharp decline caused by 3 main things: the surge in popularity of Scotch, the invention of the column still, which could produce higher volumes, causing some distillers to favor quantity over quality, and Ed, our favorite boogeyman here at the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, Prohibition. Which cut off the second largest market for Irish whiskey in the world practically overnight. The consolidation of Irish whiskey was so complete that even by as recently as 2010, there were only 4 distilleries producing whiskey in Ireland, 3 of which had consolidated operations under one umbrella called Irish Distillers Limited, which is your Jameson, your Powers, and Redbreast, and a bunch of others. Today, however, there are 40 distilleries, with even more being planned and built. And they're collectively pushing innovations like using various types of wood for aging, different used barrels for finishing, cask strength expressions, and whiskeys with double-digit age statements. And this boom is real. Irish whiskey sold over 13 million cases in 2021, 5.9 million in the U.S. alone, a 17.8 increase just from 2020, which is more growth in 1 year than Scotch achieved in the past 10 years.
Impressive.
And some analysts predict that Irish whiskey may overtake Scotch in the U.S. whiskey sales in as little as 8 years.
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Can I be clear about one thing?
Yes.
Ireland is an island,
Yes.
not a country.
It's on my island.
Okay? There's 2 countries that are on the island of Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, and then North Ireland, which is actually part of the United Kingdom.
Correct. And to your point, the 3 distilleries that consolidated under one, the one that was left out was the Northern Ireland distillery, Bushmills.
Yeah.
And so that's the 4th one.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's 4 types of Irish whiskeys, and then we can finally get to drink. Single pot still. So this is the one I mentioned is uniquely Irish. It's because of that tax on malt. So this is a mix of malted and unmalted barley, distilled in a pot still and produced at a single distillery. And we have one tonight. Single grain, a mash of different grains, typically corn and malted barley, distilled in a column still and produced by a single distillery. We also have one of those.
I was going to say we have to.
Tonight.
Odds we have.
A single malt, a mash of 100% malted barley distilled in a pot still and produced by a single distillery. We have
Have
one of those
too.
And blended, a blend of any of the previously mentioned styles in a variety of combinations, and we have 2 of those tonight.
Is Powers one of them?
Powers is the pot still.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Writer's Tears is copper pot. That's not a pot still?
Right. So they call it copper pot, and that's going to be the first one we taste.
Yeah.
Because everything that in it is produced in a copper pot, but it's because it's blended.
Oh.
It's not called a pot still. All right.
Got
So I have one paragraph about the distillery and one paragraph about the whiskey itself. Established in 1999 by husband and wife Bernard and Rosemary Walsh, Walsh Whiskey is leading the Irish whiskey renaissance. Its exclusive premium and super premium triple distilled craft Irish whiskeys, Writer's Tears and The Irishman, are both critically acclaimed and internationally adored. Walsh Whiskey creates contemporary innovations and expressions for the pleasure of palates of a new era, using the backdrop of time-worn recipes from Ireland's golden era of whiskey distilling, with a philosophy anchored in their family's motto of never say die. Their resilient attitude, along with passion, innovation, and attention to detail, drives the Walsh family's dream to create a legacy of whiskey excellence.
Palates of the New Era sounds like a rock band.
We're palates in the new area. Fuck the Queen. Sorry, the Queen. Oh wait, oh my God, the Queen's here.
Sorry, the Queen.
Sorry, the Queen.
She has a name.
Does she?
The.
First name the, last name Queen. So what it seems to me is this.
We are not
Hey,
abused.
Sinead O'Connor, can we drink yet or what?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Walsh whiskey seems to me like barrel. They're like the barrel craft spirits of Ireland.
Okay.
So the whiskey itself, 19th and early 20th century was a golden era for both Irish whiskey and Irish novelists, poets, and playwrights. Ireland was the leading whiskey producing nation in the world and the birthplace of some of literature's greatest giants, including George Bernard Shaw, Oscar Wilde, W.B. Yeats, James Joyce, Samuel Beckett, and Bram Stoker, who would take refuge.
Captain, my captain.
That was Walt Whitman. Who would take refuge.
I thought that was Yates.
No, there was
My bad. Go on.
who would take refuge in their local public houses, draw inspiration from their observations of daily life, and enjoy in the comfort of their favorite dram of whiskey. Sometimes too much.
Been there.
Little did anyone realize that the partnership between Scribe and whiskey would fade away almost entirely over the century that followed until now. Writer's Tears whiskeys aim to recreate the feel and flavor of the fabled 19th century whiskey that fueled a generation of writers who, as legend had it, drank so much of their beloved drams that when they cried tears of whiskey.
Well, that would burn. I'll be honest, I've seen this one for years and have never tried it.
Yeah.
I've wanted to. I don't know how I haven't, so it's really a nice treat. Did Gabe bring this one?
He did, but
Yeah.
I actually bought it for him.
Yeah, this was gifted and it's coming back home.
Right. It was a
boomerang.
It was purposeful.
A boomerang.
Always self-serving, aren't you?
No, I'm a self-serving bitch.
I smell apples and grapes.
Apples and grapes.
Yeah, light fruit.
It smells so good.
Remember, everybody, in the neat glass, you want to get your nose in the center of the cylinder. Man,
A lot of chewy caramel
Yeah, I was
on the
gonna
nose.
say, yeah.
Oh,
Caramel,
very
yeah.
nice.
I'm getting like a candy apple.
It starts
Sorry.
with malt, though.
Absolutely.
There's definitely malt right in the beginning, though.
Yeah,
The
definitely
caramel
malt
and
too.
that apple smell.
Yes.
Yes, the apple is so loud on
It
the
is.
nose.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so this is a blend, 40% single pot still and 60% single malt.
I just tasted it. And
Yeah.
I don't think I've had a whiskey in a long time where the nose translates directly onto the palate. Like absolutely everything
my
I
God.
smell.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Tastes like
Wow.
a sweetened green apple.
I was going to say,
Yes.
the initial taste was a green apple Jolly Rancher on the tip of my tongue.
I was going to say that, but I couldn't get out the word Jolly Rancher. I was going to say candy.
Oh, it's quite good.
It's perky.
Like sweet cinnamon,
It is.
too. Like a cinnamon roll.
There's
like
a little
Cinnabon.
spiciness at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says hi.
It gives you a fine how do you do.
Almost like an apple pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there you
that,
go.
might be better than cinnamon.
Nice apple pie.
Bun, maybe
just,
more
just
like
out of the oven,
like
sitting
an-
on the windowsill.
Oh my God, with a scoop of ice cream on top.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, I'm tasting all that.
Slow down.
And then it's dripping from the spoon
wow,
because
wow,
like
wow.
the vanilla is, you know, interlocking with the caramel and they're just oozing down the side.
Oh my God, we have 4 more whiskeys after this. We might not make it. We might be spent.
I feel like a dirty pastry chef.
And then it just dribbles down the side of your mouth.
I'll mowed my
Jesus.
ass.
Wow. That can be arranged.
That was hot.
Oh, wow. This is really good. Wow. I'm really
good.
impressed with this.
And what did this cost a bottle?
Like $14.
I think it was like $14.
$14 is Boone Farm.
I'm going to say it was like 38.
Oh, wow. That's really affordable.
It's
really nice.
It's approachable. It's not overly priced. It's good stuff.
This is their lowest expression. They have a bunch of others, which we'll get to, but we can do the tasting notes first.
Yeah. So what it says that we should taste is on the nose, malt, caramel, vanilla bean, toffee, fruit, oily spice, $1 to Gabe. The palate, once again, malt, caramel, toffee, fruit, vanilla, dynamic, dark sweets, creamy vanilla, and some copper with a bit of lemon and hazelnuts. The person says, I'm a bit surprised by the richness. Fair enough. It's very, very flavorful. Yeah. For an 80 proof whiskey, it's just delicious. And the finish should be a medium fade of malt, cinnamon oil, there's cinnamon, toffee, vanilla, and fruit. I like cinnamon oil. I've never put that together.
No, I never did.
And I
either.
don't think that Gabe gets a point for cinnamon oil.
No.
He doesn't get money for that. He has not, it's oily mouthfeel that he gets a.
Right.
Well, I'll call the copyright office tomorrow.
Oily,
Oily
not
bow.
oil.
Right.
As long as it's not an oily bohunk. She's marrying an oily bohunk.
Married.
I don't even know what that means. So
Is this
16 candles.
16 candles? Yeah.
Married.
The spiky hair that
Yes.
was all. Yeah.
Wanky my Yankee. Dongo need food.
You sound just like the Uncle Scott laughing at him. Hey, Grandpa, there's your Chinaman on the lawn.
You couldn't put that in a movie nowadays.
No, you couldn't.
nor on a podcast, what we just did.
We just did. Sorry, China.
No, we're not.
And men.
Well-
sorry, Chinese men.
We're quoting a movie. Quoting a movie.
Yeah, that's true. We literally have no idea if we listen to in China because they block all kinds of stuff.
Well,
in
yeah,
China.
any kind of
Well, how do
fun.
We have no listens to China.
So to our would-be sponsors, we are huge in China.
Just like how Ed is huge everywhere.
yeah,
Literally.
everywhere.
Yes.
Except for that 5-hour energy bottle in his pants.
I was trying to distract from that.
Well, that was the other. That was the other show,
Oh,
which actually
wow.
comes out after this one.
Oh,
so.
well, damn it.
Usually, I let my 18-inch dildo distract from that. but
Oh, wow. That's too much.
Here, look over here.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
All right, the next whiskey. Okay.
I cheated and spelled the Slane. I'm going to tell you right now, completely different. Now go, Scott.
Okay, so the story of Slane Irish whiskey begins at famous Slane Castle.
Famous.
Famous.
That's how famous it is. It's on fire.
Ow.
Which actually kind of fits in oddly. Famous Slane Castle. No,
Dude, why do you fit in so oddly? I don't know. It's
I don't know.
crooked.
I just fit in oddly.
Fuck around corners,
They
bitch.
got, they got pills for that.
Wow.
Damn.
That went like so
So far right.
Go on, Scott.
I only said like 8 words, so I'll start over. The story.
So will we.
The story of Slane Irish whiskey begins at famous Slane Castle, located in the Boyne River Valley, which has been owned by the Cunningham family since 1703 and has been one of the world's most famous live music venues since 1981. Alex Cunningham, co-founder and global brand ambassador of another Irish whiskey brand in Australia, and later founding member of the Irish Whiskey Association, Alex returned to Ireland in 2008 to develop and launch Slane Castle Irish Whiskey.
Nice.
With his father, Henry. After 2 years of careful construction and renovation, the original stable of Slane Castle was transformed into a bona fide distillery. In 2015, the brand was bought by Brown-Forman.
Unbelievable.
So, Slane Triple Cask has a unique signature aging process that takes place in, you guessed it, 3 casks. The first is a virgin American oak barrel with a medium char and heavy toast, which was handcrafted at the Brown-Forman cooperage
Right.
in Louisville, Kentucky.
Sure, well known.
The second is either an ex-Tennessee whiskey barrel or an ex-bourbon barrel, also produced at the Brown-Forman cooperage. So it's safe to assume
A lot of Jack Daniels.
that these barrels once contained either Jack Daniels or Woodford Reserve. And finally, the third barrel is an ex-Oloroso sherry cask from Jerez de la Frontera, Spain. The contents of all 3 barrels are carefully mingled together to create a consistent and unique whiskey.
That's the same barrels that Sexton uses, right?
Yes, the sherry barrels, yes.
And they technically call this an Irish whiskey?
It's a blended Irish whiskey.
The barrels that are from the
Right.
States.
The whiskey is
Exactly.
sourced from Ireland.
The whiskey is Ireland. Not
Made.
even sourced, they make it.
Made,
yeah.
yes.
But the barrels are from Brown-Forman, yeah. And the Oloroso in Spain.
Wow. Okay. If you say so.
All right.
Well,
so,
Irish whiskey rules are pretty lax. If it's produced in Ireland and aged in Ireland for 3 years, you can call it an Irish whiskey.
all right, what are you smelling? Very different from the other one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very subdued.
I agree. It's not as prominent on the nose as the Writer's Tears was.
Little oaky.
I'm getting 1985 Trans Am burning rubber in the middle of a road.
Are
And
you?
somebody's pouring alcohol at the same time.
Oh, interesting.
Very strong alcohol.
I get some fruit.
Yeah,
but-
it's very subtle.
and I tell you, without the neat glass, I don't think I'd be smelling anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is really light on the nose.
Yeah, it is light.
There's some sweet, right? There is a little bit of sweet,
Yeah.
like maybe a like a caramel or vanilla. I'm not sure.
Like a fruity sugar.
On the taste, I'm getting the cheap maraschino cherries.
Oh.
But not disparagingly.
No, I got you.
But it was that sugary,
really sweet, like candy cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah, since we're not getting much on the nose, let's go ahead and taste it.
I already did.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's very drinkable. Very, very, very light. and
Ooh.
Got a little burn at the
Ooh, it does.
burn at the end.
Kind of burns.
Yeah.
Kind of burns my lips.
Really?
It reminds me
Yeah.
of a lemon.
Oh, like a citrusy.
Yeah, just very sour at the end is what I'm getting.
Oh, wow.
I actually thought the Writer's Tears had a little more burn, and this one is smooth to me. I'm not sure why you're getting more burn than.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the
was-
Writer's Tears was completely smooth
Ed?
and tastes like apples and apple pie. This kind of
This is more subtle.
no, for me, I'm getting opposite. Sort of like this definitely tastes like a whiskey. This is kind of in your
Splash in case
a
you
little
wanna
bit
taste
more
it.
in your face. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I like
Along the lines of like a bourbon, maybe.
more like a Scotch.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting that. It's,
I agree.
I mean, it's not as light and fruity as the Writer's Tears, but it does have a bit of a peaty smokiness, a light
Lightly.
kick to it.
Let's be clear. This is still a very complex whiskey. For
It's good.
For
It's-
$27 or whatever. Completely different than the Writer's Tear, which is much sweeter and fruitier. And for someone who wants something with a little bit more of a
punch.
earthiness to
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
Definitely more earthy qualities to it.
It's definitely more oaky, and I guess that's the triple cask. And when you buy something
Right.
called triple cask, you're going to have to expect that.
Yeah, there's
right?
a lot of oak. There is a lot of oak. Dre, what do we think?
Yeah, Dre, do you like this one better than the Writer's Tears?
No way.
No.
There's no way.
I've already given mine to Ed.
Yeah, I'm already drinking Shavonne, so.
It's a
You
Shavonne
don't
pour
have to
out
finish
for
this
sure.
if you don't want, Dre.
Yeah, Dre, you don't have to finish it.
I just took a nice hefty sip. I got a lot of sweet, deep cinnamon.
There is, when you search for it, some spiciness on the finish, some baking spices. I absolutely can
I'm going to
taste
tell
that.
you, a lot of people will like this one.
A lot of Scotch drinkers. So what you were
Yes,
saying
it is,
before,
yeah.
that you
Yeah.
were afraid that
Yep.
some of these might drift towards Scotch, this one drifts.
A little
does.
bit, but not in a bad way for me. I might want a drop or two of water in here to help open this up because we don't have any water
No, we
out.
don't. God damn it.
Yeah, Ed, you're not a Scotch guy. You're not a big smoke fan, but this has a sweet smokiness
But
to
it's
it.
subtle. It's not. That's not bothering me at all. I have to tell you, I'm
Yeah,
not.
this is a good gateway to.
It just ruined it for me that the first one was so sweet and green apple-y, and this is just not that type of a whiskey. It's nothing bad. I think for the money, Slane's is a very complex Irish whiskey.
The more I drink it, the more I'm digging it. I'm liking the late cinnamon on my tongue.
Yeah. This is certainly more complex, I think. You really have to try hard to taste what you
Right.
want in it. But I think if you do, it sort of rewards you. It's not as easy drinking as the Writer's Tears.
It sounds weird, but I would like the Writer's Tears late in the evening, and I think I'd like to start my day with this. Like, this is like a start your day whiskey for me. Like, so we're 9, 10 in the morning. No, just kidding.
I'm like, do I say something? Do I not say something?
No, like seriously,
pour it
like,
over the cornflakes.
Like my first drink of the evening, I think I'd choose this over the Writer's Tears because it's a little bit less sweet and a little more dense.
Yeah.
And then like when I want to just have a little bit more of a after dinner flow, I think I would do Writer's Tears.
All right, so I have a fun fact about Slane.
What's that, Scott?
Well, I mentioned in the distillery history that they had concerts there. So the fun fact is that U2 recorded their 4th studio album, The Unforgettable Fire, at Slane Castle.
Wow.
Great album.
Yeah, and the concerts I mentioned have hosted the likes of not only U2, but also Bob Dylan, Carlos Santana, Van Morrison, Queen, David Bowie, the Rolling Stones, Guns N' Roses, Oasis, the Foo Fighters, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the #1 metal band of the Whiskey Tangent podcast,
Hall & Oates?
Metallica.
Yow!
Hall & Oates.
Hall and Oates.
Sorry.
Metallica. That's it. But putting some water in this, right?
Yes.
3 drops literally
yeah.
opens up everything.
It opened it up so much. We went from Trans Am, fire burning
Yeah.
tires
Yeah.
to
To a
nice,
Bentley.
soft and leathery taste.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What kind of car did it come into after that? Chrysler Cordoba.
No, I'm not going to say
With
like
the rich
I'll say
Corinthian
Toyota. We went to a nice upgraded
Wait a minute.
Toyota.
Sorry, no. You went
No,
from
I'm joking.
an American
We went
muscle car
from-
to
Toyotas last, okay?
They last a long time.
They do last a very long time. So I would probably say like a Lexus
Okay.
SUV.
There you go.
You
Now
know,
we're stepping it up.
and
Yeah.
it's just there's no burn. It's just the smell of nice soft
Heat-
leather.
Heated leather seats.
Yep, that's
Cruise
it.
control.
Yeah.
4-wheel drive.
All right, so what's the tasting notes for these?
Right, so the nose for the Slane triple cask was complex fruit, drizzles of caramel, butterscotch, and vanilla with hints of spice and toasted oak. The palate is spicy at first, but quickly sweetened with rich caramel, vanilla, and butterscotch. I mean, all that very subtle.
I would agree, spicy at first.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, like you said, subtle.
And then atop a deep layer of dried fruit. Dried fruit I can see. Kind of like dried like cranberries and stuff like that, where it has that burst of flavor, but it's not like a fresh, sweet, sugary fruit. It's
Right.
like a
dried fruit.
The finish is lingering hints of dry fruit, caramel, wood, and sugar. And I definitely taste the oaky wood notes on
It is
this.
woody.
That's what she said.
Hello.
Set you up for that one.
Swing away.
Shavonne knocks it out of the park.
All right, so I think as we come through the first 2 of 5, we have 2 Irish whiskeys, same proof, that are completely different. The way they hit your palate and the way that they drink.
Couldn't be more different.
Honestly, and I think that was really interesting. And both will be somebody's favorite. Like, I think if we brought 100 people in here, 50 would go to one, 50 would go to the other.
I agree.
One's gotta be somebody's favorite. One's gotta be somebody's favorite.
To be honest, I went and looked at the bottle. I was kind of
Gabe,
surprised.
wait, the crickets aren't done. Wait,
Oh, you can edit it. You can pause it. I was surprised it was only 80 proof. I thought it'd be a little higher.
It tastes higher than 80 proof.
Right.
It does.
Yeah.
It definitely
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dig.
now it's Fargo. Yeah.
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 Kind
I'm
of-
cooperating here.
He's kind of
cooperating.
funny looking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got all the Coen Brothers movies tonight.
I know.
Raising
Yeah.
Arizona on the short, which you'll hear later. And then we got the Fargo going. So let's see how many we can
All
get
right,
into tonight.
listen, we got to wash these glasses
Yep.
and put some music on and come back with 3 more.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. We've cleaned the glasses. We've poured the next 2 whiskeys, and Scott's going to tell us what we're moving to next.
Yeah, so we're going to do the Glendalough double barrel. Yeah.
It's a Tara pronunciation on that.
Tara, right. Oh, we've never mentioned Tara on the podcast. We'll have to we'll have to come back to that. Yeah. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Okay,
Right.
so the Glendalough Double Barrel Distillery, quick story from their website. In 2011, after many an evening's banter and debate over why there weren't more craft distilleries in Ireland, 5 friends with a mutual love of Irish whiskey and their home country's lore and legend convinced each other to leave the safety of their day jobs, head into the mountains, and take a chance on something more meaningful. Together, they built a distillery near their favorite spot in those mountains, Glendalough, thus becoming one of the first craft distillers in Ireland. Located in a narrow glacial valley in the Wicklow Mountains about an hour south of Dublin, Glendalough is Gaelic for Glen of Two Lakes, and County Wicklow, in which the valley is situated, is known as the Garden of Ireland, one of the most visited scenic attractions in the country. The whiskey itself, this double barrel, is aged twice in barrels from far sides of the world. The flavors are a game of 2 halves. Resting our column-stilled grain whiskey in American oak bourbon barrels for 3 years bring sweet honey and smooth vanilla notes, laying down the foundations of the flavors. Then we finish the spirit in Spanish oak Oloroso barrels, which layer on dried fruit and nutty flavors, creating a truly lovely, light, and drinkable whiskey that's also complex, with a depth of flavor beyond its years. So this one, as opposed to the 2 blends we had before, is a single grain Irish whiskey. The mash bill is not disclosed, but the grains included are corn and malted barley. So it's possible that if this were made in America, it could be a bourbon.
Well, it smells nothing like the first 2. It's unbelievable. It is strange.
Oh, yeah.
It smells like my grandma's perfume.
It's got a perfumey
There's a
note to
good
it.
good
If your
visual.
grandma's an Irish alcoholic.
Smells like grandma. No, that's just Bushmills.
Her grandma probably doesn't listen to this, probably.
Probably. I'm getting a little, almost like a leather, like a light leather scent.
Yeah. It smells like super flowery.
It is. It does smell super flowery.
It's got a bit of
Yeah.
a honeysuckle or clover,
That's
summery
fair.
grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Field smells.
Like a summer
summer's
spring. Yeah. Summer spring, that's what I'm going to call it.
Summer breeze.
breeze.
Makes me feel fine.
Throwing through the jasmine of my mind.
There's no age statement, but it has to be at least 3 years. The proof is 84. Price is, again, around $30.
Do they have any upper expressions?
Glendalough? They do.
No, a double barrel for 30 seems incredibly cheap.
They have a triple barrel.
Oh.
And they have a pot still. So their triple barrel is about 40. Their pot still is about 60. And they have 5 different single malts.
I'm getting back on the nose again. You're probably not going to like appreciate this or like this, but
Okay.
I'm getting a white chocolate.
You're right. I don't like
Also
hearing
crickets.
that.
Yeah, we don't like that.
I've been nosing it for 5 minutes here, and it's just something about it I can't put my finger on.
It's like an earthiness or a floral, leathery.
It's a spring morning.
I don't get a lot of sweet on it.
No, I'm not getting any sweet.
And there's an off-putting thing on the finish I can't put my tongue on, I guess.
Dare I say, it sounds like you're walking through a cow pasture.
And hoping you don't step
Right,
wrong.
that sweet smell of cow dung.
What am I smelling, though? There's something really prominent on the smell that I'm getting on the finish. It's just like...
It smells a little bit like what I think what Shavonne was smelling in the last one. It smells a little rubbery.
that's like a vinyl.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
yeah.
After the car's done peeling out and has stopped,
Yeah.
but the tire still smells.
But you can still smell
it's
the
like a
fire.
cold vinyl at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a cold 1985
Cold rubber.
Trans Am.
Cold rubber. I don't like it.
It's artificially sweet.
I don't like
tasting
it.
it. Are we tasting it?
Did you taste it?
I did. Yeah, I just tasted it. I don't like it.
Wow.
Wait, we hadn't tasted
buttery-
already? I was.
Oh, no, we were on the nose, bro.
No wonder you can't help me.
Oh, no.
How long are we going to smell this thing for? We've been at it for like 7 minutes.
You just went right into it.
Right into it. Me and Drea are done it. We're already nosing the second one by now.
No, this is another one that tastes a lot better with like a couple drops of water.
Oh, yeah. Let's everyone put some drops
All
of
right.
water in.
But there's a chemical taste to it, which I don't understand why you would allow this to be in your whiskey. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't understand
yeah,
right.
why, if you're creating this, you would be like, okay, it tastes a little chemically and vinyl-y. Let's keep that. Of course, all right, so what they say you should smell
Yeah, go ahead.
is rich, warm, dark fruit, lye, cherry, raisin, fig,
Yeah, okay.
Christmas pudding, floral notes
Okay.
with lemongrass, which
Yes.
is the closest thing that we've
Yes.
got, right?
Yes.
Citrus and a touch of nutmeg. So the lemongrass and the floral notes is probably what I'm smelling the most of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
There's always dark fruit somewhere if you hang out long enough.
Plus rubber and leather.
Right. So the palate is, you didn't really tell me what you're tasting, so you can tell me if you want.
I am tasting some sweet stuff, but it's really hard to get through because of all the chemical
Yeah.
taste.
Chemically lemon. It's clemony.
It's very artificial lemony, like the thing that I will not
Right.
eat. I will eat lemons, but I won't eat like artificial
Yeah.
like lemon.
I'm getting
stuff.
that
and that's what I'm
weird
getting from it.
citrus
Yeah.
kind of
Yes.
thing now,
Yeah.
and it could
Not-
be you putting it in my head, but like I'm kind of getting that.
Well, I even put the water in it, and it still has that.
Yeah, I think
that
I think it
taste.
accentuated it
Yeah.
with more
The
water.
aftertaste lingers too.
Yeah.
And not
Too long.
and not nicely.
No.
Yeah,
no.
wow, I'm really disappointed in this. I chose this because
Yeah.
it was an up and coming distillery, and this is definitely the worst whiskey we've had tonight.
Oh, by far. We're not
Yeah.
making any friends at the Glendalough, but that's their
No.
fault, not ours.
Right.
So they say the palate is sweet and smooth with butterscotch, honey, peppercorn, dried fruit, maraschino cherries, and brown sugar, and I taste
None
10%
of
of
that.
that.
I mean, peppercorn.
yeah.
Yeah,
guess.
the peppercorn is definitely there.
The sweetness here is really just basic sweetness.
Yeah.
Just like a
Bottom line.
Yeah, just
baseline.
Finish
just a sugar.
is
Yeah, go ahead.
Is ginger spices with
What?
a touch of almond and earthiness.
Earthiness.
I got the earthiness.
And I think
Dirt.
I can probably come around to the taste of a ginger. Oh, but ginger has citrus flavors too.
Yeah, that must
does.
right, that must be what you're getting.
Maybe like a chemical
yeah.
ginger.
You know what it is? It could be the combination of
Yeah.
that and the peppercorn, and they're just carrying
Yeah.
each
And
other.
that's just a weird combination.
Yeah, I can do with ginger if it's like if she's cute.
I
you know?
knew it. I knew there was not going to be any
That's another
substance
podcast,
referring
Ed.
to the actual drink.
Well, we've already beat this one to death. I mean, I have nothing else good to
And
say.
Ed didn't like it, so we're moving on.
oh,
Yeah, this is it's just not there. I'm getting
It
actually.
isn't. And to be fair, even though I just called Ed out on it, none of us really like
No,
Right,
no, it's
no.
like the whiskey. Hate is a strong word, but don't like is what I'm at. I
Yeah.
don't like it. and
wow.
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I finished mine because I was really trying to fight for it. But let's go to the next one, which is Powers 3 Swallow.
I was 3 Swallow, which I'm really excited to taste.
Right. Scott said it during the week that if I put my whiskey out, it would be called a 1 swallow because of how fast I drink. It's Ed's 1 swallow bourbon, everybody.
Ed's 1 swallow.
No matter how big the glass, it's 1 swallow.
One gulp, really, I
Wow,
guess.
it's like buttery.
The smell on this is really nice.
All right, so we talked about the Powers Distillery way back in episode 6, but
Yada,
very,
yada, yada.
very brief recap from Flaviar.com. In 1791, a Dublin innkeeper named James Power decided to take some of his profits and start his own distillery, and thus the John's Lane Distillery at Thomas Street was born. The company grew, and soon John's son joined the family business, and the official name became John Power and Son. In 1886, Powers was one of the first distilleries in the world, and the first in Ireland to start bottling their own spirit, as up until then, whiskey was sold by the casks. After that, they innovated more and expanded further to become the most popular whiskey in Ireland.
Can you imagine if we had to buy by the cask now? Wouldn't that be awesome?
I know.
Hey, dude, it's just like a 60-gallon barrel in the corner. Hey, it's Woodford right over there if you want some.
$700. Thank you.
Gabe rolls his Knob Creek down the road. Wait, I'm coming. He runs on top of it like a circus act.
Like a dancing bear. Like a Russian dancing bear.
You mean a Ukrainian dancing bear? Thank you.
Wow. Yes, I do.
Fair enough.
So this whiskey is not from a new distillery, obviously.
A nudist distillery.
I heard that
That's
too.
what I heard.
I mean,
Wow.
I mean, wait a minute. That sounds dangerous with all the hot liquid flying around there.
Wow. Hot liquid in a nudist colony.
Hot liquid. That was my disco name in the 70s. For my disco band is Hot Liquid.
Now opening for ABBA.
Hot liquid. All right, so you'll be surprised to know how recent this expression is. So it's an old distillery, but this was released in October of 2015. It's a modern expression of what the original Powers family whiskey tasted like back in the days of the old John's Lane distillery. The name comes from a Powers family tale of a trio of coachmen in their employ who would fill a small flask of Powers whiskey when preparing for a long trip. Before embarking, they would each take a swallow, just enough to give them a boost without interfering with their job.
Sure.
Also, in a bit of cheeky wordplay, there are 3 swallows, the bird species, on the label. So they're playing around with your expectations there.
Nice.
This is a single pot still Irish whiskey, so it's a blend of 100% malted and unmalted barley. This is the one that's the uniquely Irish expression. It is 86.4 proof.
This is so different on the nose than
much better.
the last two, actually.
This smells a bit like the writer's tears.
Yeah.
I'm getting apple. Yeah.
Yes, definitely the apple's back. I get a little banana.
Absolutely
Anybody with me on
banana.
that?
Absolutely.
Like a cooked banana?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm getting.
Actually, no, I get plantains. Sorry. Oh, did you?
Here's me being specific. If you ever got a Entenmann's pecan Danish ring with the glazed white topping,
Damn. You should apply for a job at Barrel Craft Spirits.
and by the way, getting back to the backstory of the origins of this,
Yeah.
nothing is more poetic than writing about driving drunk. Be it a stagecoach or anything like that. Let's tie one on before we take a nice long trip.
It's basically what it's named after. Driving drunk.
The more I smell it, it smells like grapey.
Oh, grapes. Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Are we
grapey.
tasting-
I was going
I
to
mean-
say blueberries.
Right.
Blueberries and bananas kind of cross over into each other.
Really?
Yeah.
I've
so
never noticed that.
No, well, remember when we had the Bren?
Yeah.
The French whiskey.
Yes.
That smelled like bananas, but it also had a hint of blueberries to it.
Yeah,
And I
I
always
gotcha.
kind of, mash them together because blueberries and bananas in a smoothie tastes fucking awesome.
Amen.
Right.
All right.
So they have roasted banana,
Oh, cool.
toffee malt, copper, roasted apples,
Oh, wow.
marshmallows with bits of graham cracker and spice. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
s'more.
Yeah,
Spot on.
we're pretty close. It's a little bit of s'more without the chocolate.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. All right, let's taste it.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh.
Similar to the first one, a lot of the nose came through on the palate. I'm getting the
Yes.
roasted apples heavy.
I like that.
A lot of white grape.
Yeah, do you get any graham cracker?
Let me see.
Yeah, near the end of it, there's graham cracker there.
This kind of tastes like the writer's tear to me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, they're definitely similar.
Definitely,
a lot
yeah.
of light fruit in that same.
But
This
similar-
one's a little bit more potent. Like,
Because it's got
Yes.
six more
I-
points. Yeah.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
this one, it has the smelling notes of the writer's tears. However, I don't think it comes through as strong as the writer's tears with flavor.
Not the green apple.
Right.
To me, the writer's tears was great, but it was a little one note. This is a little bit more complex, and it has some of those aspects of it. But you're right, Shavonne.
Yeah, I think it immediately reminded me of the writer's tears because of the smell.
Yeah.
But when you taste it, you should not expect the writer's tears taste
No,
at
that's-
all.
that's true.
They're
But-
a little bit more subdued and they're more lingered out.
There's a bunch of other stuff
Yes,
in there
you
mixed
can,
in.
right.
What do you think about if you took whiskeys 1 and 2 and combined them together? I feel like that's similar to what I'm feeling.
I would say that's accurate.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, it's a lot of fruit and a lot of spice put together.
But there's nothing wrong with the first one. Writer's Tears was delicious. Like there's
It was.
absolutely no reason not to pour that in your glass and just drink it down while you're thinking about what else I want to drink. It's a little bit of a long finish for an Irish whiskey, too, because the Irish whiskeys tend to just be very, very thin at the end, I think, a lot of times, especially the 80 proof ones. But this one stays there a bit.
This is what you said, an 86 proof?
86.4.
Okay, yeah, a little stronger than your typical Irish.
Yeah. And it tastes like it.
Yeah,
it
it does.
stronger.
It's holding on. It really is.
Yeah. This actually tastes, I would say, a little bit more like a 92 or something, a little bit
Yeah, it's
stronger
got
than
fire,
86.
like an 88.
But
90.
wow,
Yeah.
I really like this.
I think what's crazy is I miss the finish of number one. It's definitely not a sweet finish. It's
Okay, it's not.
The sweetness is in the front of this one, and then it gets complex, and then it just kind of finishes with like a little bit of a burn ending, but not sweet.
you.
It's more of the finish of the Slane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the beginning of the Writer's Tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Very good whiskey, though.
I will say, once you add the water to it, you get your Writer's Tears tastings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Because it beats the.
burnt more.
You did. Yeah, I didn't get more of that.
Yeah.
I got more of the.
I think you put in the wrong one.
I did get confused for a second, but let me try it again. Maybe I didn't put enough water in it.
Maybe.
Yeah, to quote Sammy Hagar, you're getting the best of both worlds.
I did. So a little bit more water in it to it because I only put like 2 or 3 drops.
all
But
right,
putting
yeah.
like 6 drops
Yes.
into it does taste a little bit more like the Writer's Tears.
It does.
Yes.
But now you have the proof.
A little bit more substance
Yes,
to it.
exactly. It has a little body,
Oh, yeah.
This is great. Like, I'm not disappointed in this.
No, not at all.
I really enjoyed 1, 2, and 4.
Yes.
All of them are drinkable. If someone gave them to me in a bar, so I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, let me have it. Was it Writer's Tears? Sure, give it to me. Oh, what is that? Glendalough? I don't need Glendalough.
Glendalough.
Glendalough. I'm going off the pronunciation Scott gave because he knows that I'm verbally challenged.
So Ed and I have been big fans of Powers for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And we did the gold label, of course, on episode 6. This one was really good. They only have one more expression, and that's the John's Lane. I think we should seek it out and try it immediately
Yeah.
because that is
Right
supposed
now,
to
like,
be...
Immediately.
The liquor store's closed in a minute.
So it's aged 12 years.
So it's going to be like
And
$1 million.
this one was like rumored to be 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. and-
What's the price point on those two?
okay, let's see. So this one,
I
Ed,
bought
you
the-
bought this.
I
What
bought
was
it.
I'm guessing high
I
40s.
feel like I ordered it on Flaviar, so I can't tell what the real price is. I think I got it for around
50?
50,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
52 maybe, nothing crazy.
The John's Lane is 80.
But regular Powers is 38, 39, so it's about a $10, $12 uptick
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah, and that's only like 3 or 4 years.
yeah, I think I'd seek this one out as a nice little surprise gift once in a while.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'd like to taste the Writer's Tears that we had against Green Spot because I feel like it's similar.
So similar.
And Scott and I have been on a mission this year to find what else can you drink and for stuff that's rare or overpriced. Not that Green Spot's overpriced, but $60 is a lot of money for 80 proof whiskey.
Yeah, so if something tastes exactly like a 60 and it's 30,
Yeah.
fucking let's go get it.
Let's go get that.
But how much did it cost you to find out how much you're going to be saving?
Well, that's
thousands,
true.
tens of thousands of dollars.
But
Right.
you can't count that in
But
the
you're winning,
equation.
though.
Yeah.
You're winning.
I'm winning. I'm winning.
Okay, so we are going to clean the glasses one more time. Come
Yeah.
back with the
Featured whiskey of tonight.
Yeah, the Dingle.
Dingle single malt batch number 4.
we'll be right back.
And we're back, and we're going to sit here and we're going to try our 5th expression, the Dingle single malt from the County Curry. And I'm going to throw it back to Scott, and he's going to tell you all about it.
End contractual obligation to Gabe.
Thank you, Gabe. This is the Dingle single malt batch number 4. So I have a paragraph about the distillery and a paragraph about the bottle. The Dingle Whiskey Distillery was conceived by 3 independent spirits. Oliver Hughes, Liam Lahart, and Peter Mosley, a trio of men who pioneered the Irish craft beer scene in the mid-1990s. But as their palates became more experienced to the taste of Earth's,
Wind and fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Earth's natural ingredients, their attention turned to whiskey, and then eventually distilling their own. And so it was that in the cold winter of 2012, after Ireland was just beginning to emerge from one of its greatest recessions in recent memory, the most significant event in the Irish whiskey industry in decades was happening, unbeknownst to many, in a tiny tin shed in the town of Dingle, where Oliver, Liam, and Peter's first casks were filled on December 18th of that year. 3 years and a day later, they filled their first bottles. Their distillery was ready.
Cool.
have nothing to say yet. I haven't tasted anything. I'm just listening.
Dingle
Dingle.
is at the very fringe of Europe. To the west, there is nothing but the Atlantic Ocean for almost 4,000 miles,
Wow.
which explains much about our whiskey. The mild marine microclimate speaks softly yet distinctly through the contents of this bottle. Dingle is where it's distilled, where it's aged, and where it's gradually realized. This is a whiskey with a true sense of place, and the particular character of each of our releases can never be replicated. It's a snapshot of time. And our single malt batch number 4 is no exception. A marriage of 3 casks has resulted in a full-flavored, yet harmoniously balanced mix of creamy vanilla sweetness from the bourbon and dried apricot and sultanas from the sherry and port. Dingle, handmade character, unique whiskey from the edge.
Wow.
Just out there dingling.
I know. I'm single. I like to mingle. I like to drink this with them Pringles.
So you're saying this is like a coastal
I
distillery?
mean, it is.
I'm getting the feeling this is going to be very Scotchy.
Maybe.
But wait, what
Maybe.
happened? Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
All the bourbon and flavors you're saying, is that from the barrels it's finished in?
Yeah,
or-
so there's 3 barrels.
Okay.
Ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, and ex-port.
And ex-convicts. The
And
fourth
ex-convicts.
barrel. Right.
They made the distillery. No. This is a single malt Irish whiskey, so it's 100% malted barley. It's the
Okay.
only single malt we've had today. Its proof is the highest proof we've had. It's 93.
Wow.
And this mash bill is the most like a Scotch we've had.
It is. It is. It was. This was the uptick expression. The other ones were all around $30 or $40. This one was 83.
Right, Powers was
Wow.
50, but 83. Yeah, that's a lot for us to buy an Irish whiskey for that isn't named one of the spots.
All right, but I do want to give a shout out to the Canals Bottle Stop over here in Malton. They have a really good Irish whiskey selection, so I bought all of these there. And Ed, your Powers,
I believe I got it from Flaviar.
awesome. They did actually have that there, though.
Yeah.
If you hadn't already bought it, maybe I would have bought it too.
I would have saved me some money then. I have to remember that next time.
All right, let's smell it.
Scotchy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of peat right there. Mm-hmm. Not my brother. Thank God.
Not your brother, Pete.
No, that smells completely
I mean,
different.
to be honest, I'm not smelling peat. What I'm smelling is a lot of the malted barley.
Right,
That's-
malt.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Dre's got caramel over here on her nose.
Caramel, yep.
Well, yeah. Can you be more specific, Dre? What type of caramel are you tasting? We try to push people a little bit.
It's a caramelized onion.
A caramelized
Caramelized onion.
onion. See where that went?
Wow. I mean, I can kind of see that because there's a little
Yeah.
bit of savoriness on the
Yeah. No,
on
I
the
mean,
nose.
that is not a crazy thing.
That's not as crazy as Drea maybe thought it was, or maybe we thought it was when Drea said it.
right.
Now that was
It's not nearly about to be cut like we thought it was going to be.
Now I can't cut it because you made it funny.
Yeah, there's
Fruits,
there's some earthiness to this.
There's a bit of apple.
Sweet,
I
though.
smell sherry. I actually smell the sherry.
Do you
a little
smell the
bit.
sherry? Yeah,
And like
wine influence.
Maybe a little maraschino cherry.
Okay. all
Okay,
right.
like tropical fruits. I'm also smelling like a mango.
I get sometimes like a milk chocolate almost on the nose.
You said there was a port finish in this as well?
Yep.
Okay, I'm definitely
I
getting
get
some
that.
of the sour, deep portness.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the word I'm looking for, but there's a density in that smell.
Yeah, so I think what they did was they took 3 portions of their single malt. They aged one in the bourbon, one in the sherry, and one in the port, and then mixed them together.
Okay.
I mean, Ed, a little bit of chocolate.
A little bit. on the
Yeah, a
nose.
little bit.
On the nose, a little bit. Let's taste it if we're ready.
Sure.
I get wine notes on it.
Ooh, that is
That might be
complex. This is definitely the most complex
Yeah.
whiskey we've had tonight.
Different.
So on the finish, I get brown sugar, but initially,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But initially, I get a lot of barley spice,
A lot of hot cinnamon.
Yeah.
cinnamon. Yes.
Definitely cinnamon.
Oh wow, this is really fucking good.
Ooh,
my-
lingering burn down the throat.
It's very impressive.
Very impressive. And Ed, you are right. This tastes exactly like a Scotch.
But it's in the Scotch that Ed deals with, like the
Yes.
Aberlour. You know,
This tastes
like it's-
a lot like the Aberlour,
does
Abuna,
taste a lot like the Abuna. I was thinking the exact same.
but not as hot because that's like 112 or 1.
Let's get some Abuna and try it. Oh, that's right. There isn't any because you drank it.
Oh no, I think there might be a little bit left. Actually,
I will-
if you want to try that.
And that first sip took you on a journey.
I'm getting a lot of burnt cherry.
Okay.
Yeah, I get the cherry. I don't know about the burnt part.
It's a deep, not that candy crap cherry. It's that good Italian cherry. But it's.
Are you a good Italian cherry, Gabe? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I am really not sure how to answer that. I try to be good. I end up failing quite a bit, but I like the way I taste, so I can relate to this. I'm not sure where I'm going.
You're just going, dude.
I'm going to put some water in there, so maybe it'll bring some evil to me. Now, what'd you just give us, Scott?
Splash of the Abelor Abuna.
Oh, as a comparison?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Am I
because
supposed to put water in it?
sure, absolutely, and you might want to because it's very high proof. But we tasted a lot of notes in this dingle in the Abelor Abuna.
I have to tell you, they are very similar.
It's really good.
Adding water to the dingle kind of changed it like a lot.
Good or bad?
Um,
So I'm undecided.
I like it better without it. Like
Okay.
original, it's so much better. Yeah.
Are you guys getting any like currants or
Raisin.
Raisins, yeah.
Yeah.
white raisins?
Yes,
You mean
Gabe.
golden raisins? What the hell is a white raisin?
The golden raisins, yeah.
Isn't that a currant?
Go ask
Isn't
Alice.
Isn't that called a
That's
currant?
his peen.
No, it's called a sultana, actually.
Well, then I'll go fuck myself.
That's a white raisin.
Jay said a white raisin is Gabe's peen when it's cold.
Wow. There's a new tasting note, isn't it?
Oh
my
It tastes like
God.
Gabe's penis in the winter. It's
Well,
a-
at least it looks like it.
a white
I think is
raisin.
what she was saying. Yeah.
Wait, no one's seen his penis. Let's
Well, you're
establish
talking about
that.
tasting it.
It's like on that note, I'll
Okay, good
finish
point.
this drink.
Right. I mean, all right. So I think the difference between the two, the Abuna is really freaking potent. There's so much extra flavor
yeah.
in there, but it is reminiscent of it. So the Abuna is 122.4 proof.
Yeah, and it's about $12 more in price.
Yeah, that's about 90. If you were comparing the two, I mean, the Abelor is the absolute steal buy at 90 if you're getting the Dingle for 83. But I really like the Dingle.
I like the dingle
I
too.
like the dingle.
I was really afraid, you're always afraid to buy higher than $80
Yeah.
for a whiskey.
Yep.
But I read up on this a lot. And the reason why I chose this is because we had all really lower expressions,
Yeah.
except for the Powers, which is sort of
Right.
a mid-range.
Right.
We didn't have a higher expression, so I wanted a higher one, and this is the one I chose just based on
Yeah.
the tasting notes and what other people were saying online and the history of it.
Any night where the highest whiskey is 93 is a great night for us.
Yeah, right. So we don't get too extra.
Because like
That'll happen later.
I mean, my God, we've had in the Whiskey Madness, we had a bracket where everybody was over 120. I mean, my God,
We did.
I had to get 2 liver transplants that month. 2.
I thought you were going to say you had to get 2 Ubers.
So I burned through the first. I burned through the first one in like 9 days. I had to give me a second one.
Good
9
times.
days.
Yeah, thank God that 13-year-old kid couldn't ride his bike properly.
Oh, my God.
Were you sitting on the seat or are you riding his pegs on the back?
What?
Wow.
Kept mine in and just added his to mine like a booster.
What is happening?
to go along,
What is literally
to go along with
All
my.
the wheels
Who let
kept
me
falling
sit
off.
next
You have
to
like a
this
Frank-
guy?
I know.
So do you have like a Franken liver?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so,
This Dingle's, it's giving my my tongue a like warm cinnamon hug.
yeah, let's see how we did on the tasting notes.
All right, first of all, I'd just like to say that I support people who donate their organs and that I really
God.
didn't get a transplant. My liver's original. It's still fighting the good fight.
Okay, good.
For now.
Yeah.
So the,
What's left of it?
the tasty notes is right, whatever shreds are in there.
Shreds.
Shrapnel.
So on a lighter note, the nose, a creamy mixture of chocolate and vanilla alongside sherried dried fruit and toffee, which goes to the caramel you were kind of tasting.
Yeah.
Right.
Dre.
A combination of chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm good.
So a palette of distinct wine note with more vanilla, oak, dried apricot, sultanas,
Gabe.
a good helping of malt.
Yeah.
The finish was ginger snap biscuits, dark chocolate, and a hint of refreshing citrus and New Jersey pork roll. No, I made it up. So that's fine.
Oh my God, I was.
No
I
way.
was like, no
At least
way.
he said pork roll. Respect.
Right, respect.
I think it's more like Taylor ham.
No,
right,
fuck the
I don't-
Taylor ham.
Right, I
Fuck
Get
it.
out. Get out.
Siobhan's going to disagree.
Everybody knows that North Jersey is right all the time, so it's Taylor ham. So you guys
It
can.
literally package says pork roll.
And you know what's funny is no one in North Jersey cares about anything people in South Jersey have to say. So in their mind,
F 'em.
in their crazy mind, it's just
So isn't the packaging Taylor's ham pork roll? Like, isn't
It
that
is.
the packaging?
It is.
So
It's-
it's just what people call it.
That's
Yeah.
all. I have no idea. I
They're
didn't even know
both on there,
I didn't even know
actually.
there was a fight.
I
about
know.
This. I had no idea.
I didn't either until I heard there was a fight, and I was like, oh, God.
It sounds so ridiculous, doesn't it?
So if you guys in other parts of the country, maybe you have states where it's big enough to where there's a north and a south. Well, New Jersey isn't really that big, but it's
No.
skinny. So there is a definite north and a definite south. So we just fight each other because north is influenced by New York,
Right.
and south is
It was
influenced
by
by Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
So
Correct.
it's Philly versus New York.
Yeah,
it's the whole
unfortunately,
thing.
yeah.
But the package just says Taylor pork roll. There's no ham anywhere on the label. They've just made that up.
So, like back in the day, it could have been Taylor Ham's
ham.
pork roll
And
or
also,
something.
when you're thinking
I
of-
have back in the day.
Oh, do you? Okay.
It says John Taylor's pork roll.
Is that really back in the day, or is that just one of the bigger packs? Taylor Ham.
All
or
right,
the
so
one in
Shavonne saw my deception.
Okay.
you know, I don't just look at pictures. You know, I analyze them.
She analyzes. I'm always afraid to send Siobhan a
I
picture.
swept
like,
it real quick so she couldn't get a look.
He zoomed in so far. Like, don't look at the corners. Don't look at anything else.
He framed it just what he wanted Siobhan to see.
Yeah.
What about Canadian bacon?
What?
What is
That's a whole other topic.
Now that we're talking about meats in your mouth.
Oh.
My.
Wow.
So Dingle
So back to
talking about
Dingle
meat.
and meat.
The other 59 countries that follow us don't care about our Taylor ham discussion.
I know, right? It's so local.
But like 25% of the people who listen to us are Jersey, so everyone's all arguing now. We got everybody arguing.
Please comment on which you think is the correct term.
That's right.
There you go.
Email us at whiskeytangent
Yes.
at gmail.com or our Instagram at Whiskey Tangent Podcast.
Right.
And tell us what you
Maybe
feel
we'll
about
put a
Scrapple.
poll.
No.
Oh, God, don't fucking start with that. God damn it.
It's the broccoli breakfast meats.
It's the broccoli of breakfast.
Wow.
It's called the everything else breakfast. Literally.
So if you say pork roll, put you in the lottery for a free neat glass. And if you say Taylor ham, you'll be in the lottery to go on a date with Shavonne.
It's a win-win.
Because Siobhan won't argue about that with you.
Right, because at least that'll be one thing you'll have in common. It'll be a breakfast date between 8 and 8:20.
At a diner of Siobhan's
No,
specification.
at a counter in a diner. At a counter.
At a counter and a diner.
Two
Absolutely.
seats apart.
With a seat in between. I was going to say the same thing. With me sitting in the middle as a buffer. So that's like two seats. That's like two seats
Hey,
in between.
who are you?
All right, so I just wanted to say that Dingle only makes single malts and single pot stills, and they've done 6 batches of the single malt. We only had batch 4, but 6 has come out.
Yeah.
And so they change up every single batch that they
Yeah,
do
yeah.
That's interesting.
with different finishes.
Okay.
So this one happened to have 3, but some only have the 6 has an old port. So that might be really interesting. I'm not going to pay $80 for it,
Right.
but this is really good.
It is.
I
Yeah.
really like this. So what I want to do is just go around to everybody and just say what's your favorite and least favorite. All right, so Gabe.
It's really hard to distinguish a favorite when you get the Dingle with this malty, full feeling. You know, if I tasted this blind, I would have thought it would be some kind of Scotch. It's very good.
Very good.
I like this. I did like the Writer's Tears.
Yep.
I thought the Powers was good. I mean, it's really hard to put one as a favorite. Right now, the Dingle is because the Dingle's in my mouth. And I'm really liking it.
All right.
Wow.
So what was your worst?
What was the fourth one? Or the third one we did?
The Glendalough.
Listen,
Yeah.
since we all hate the Glendalough, I think we should have to pick a next one.
Okay, your
The
second.
Glendalough
Yeah.
smells like a boob job.
A silicone implant.
Oh my God!
What was our
Take
second
that,
one?
barrel.
What was our second one again?
The second one was Slane.
Slane.
Wow. Well, that was good.
If you don't have
Once again, it's like trying to pick your favorite kid.
Right. So if you just want to say Glendalough was bad and the rest were pretty good.
They all had their positives.
Yeah, maybe I tried to do too much there. Just let's stick with the one that you hate the most.
Yeah, okay. So Shavonne, what was your favorite?
My favorite was Writer's Tears.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's just had so much flavor to it. I really enjoyed it.
It did. It's very good.
That's one that I would buy, which reminds me, I am running out of room on my little bar thing.
You got to drink more.
You would
No.
think that's probably the most classic Irish whiskey you would have.
I'm surprised. Didn't you quit drinking for 3 days?
All right, you were going to the straight edge for a while.
That was the April Fool's joke.
Oh shit! That was that on April Fool's? You did
Gotcha.
that?
She got you.
Wait a minute. You mean to
Damn.
tell me that today is the 9th and you did not realize that
No,
that was
I
April?
didn't take it serious. I thought you were joking, but I didn't realize it was April.
Nice. Yeah, but some things you don't kid about.
Okay, I missed that. What day it was?
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
All right, so your worst one, the Glendalough. Besides the
yes.
Glendalough. Maybe the Slane you didn't really care for?
Yeah, the Slane I didn't care for as much. I mean, until I put the water in it. Once I
true.
put the water in,
Yeah.
And until she
Then-
drank the Glendalough, then she's like, oh, wait, the Slane's was all right.
Right.
Yeah, because like once you put the water in, they really smooth out and they really open up.
Right.
So I enjoyed them, but the one that would actually get any of my funds would be Writer's Tears.
All right. So, Drea, how about you?
I think the Powers 3 Swallow was like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. Mm-hmm. That's very good. That was my second.
yeah. And then Boob Job was the worst.
Boob job.
Glendalough is Gaelic for boob job.
Clearly.
Confirmed. And, okay.
So
and Ed?
Yeah, so for me, I think I would probably go with the Powers as my first, but the Dingle is really good. Really good.
Yep.
And I'm going to say straight out, it's probably a better whiskey than the Powers 3 Swallow, but for my palate and what I enjoy, the Powers 3 Swallow is probably in my wheelhouse
It's
more.
also $30 cheaper.
Right. That's another reason. I can have 3 bottles to 2 bottles.
I mean, for the money,
yeah.
agreed.
But the Dingle is so much better than I expected it from the smell. And it's not that it smelled bad, but it smelled Scotchy, but it's not a Scotch. It tastes very Irish whiskey throughout. There's some sweet notes to it that make you realize it's not a Scotch, or if it is a Scotch, it's a Scotch that leans heavy towards Irish. You know, what I
Right.
mean?
It's definitely toward the Speyside scotches
Right.
that you really enjoy.
Right.
Yeah. So I like the Dingle. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
The 3 Swallows is absolutely, for the money, better than the Dingle just because it's $30 cheaper. The Glendalough. Crap. God, it was really bad. I'm just so sad about it.
The black.
You were really looking forward to it. That's why.
The Glendalough.
I really was.
Glenda
And
Black.
so if I have to pick a second one, it's the Slane's, but the Slane is
You
not
can't-
bad.
It's not fair to the Slane. For $27, the Slane's is delicious.
No, we don't want to
No, there's no reason to disparage the Slane's.
disparage the Slane's. Yeah,
The
we don't want to
Slane
do
is
that.
sitting there with Sexton as one of the best value Irish whiskeys you
And I love the connection that it has to Brown Forman.
Absolutely.
And the barrels and American and Tennessee whiskey. And,
Yeah. It's not fair to put Slane's against an $80 whiskey and a $50 whiskey and
Yeah.
say, oh, it's not quite as good as that.
No.
Like,
I'll tell you what, though, in having been through this whole tasting tonight, for a while I was kind of discounting the whole Irish whiskeys.
Yeah.
This really goes to show you what is going on with the whole industry and the finishing.
yeah.
Yep.
The tasting, the proofing. I mean, you can't close your book on Irish whiskey because there's a lot out there that is a lot different, and my eyes are opened.
Yeah, 10 years ago,
You had 5 Irish whiskeys.
Irish whiskey was boring.
Yep.
And now it's not.
Yes.
And you guys should explore all the ones that
Yep.
we said tonight, except for the Glendalough. And others.
Yes,
Just to
there's a
see
lot
how
out
much you
there.
like it, because it's
Yep.
really flavorful. If your taste buds tend toward Scotch, there's
Right.
a lot for you here.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't, get some of the 80 proof expressions, get the writer's tears. If you're interested in the green spot, that's half the price. And it tastes about the same.
Right. The Writer's Tears is a bargain, too.
I was really impressed with the writer's tears. I might get some other writer's tears stuff because, like I said,
Right.
they're sort of the barrel craft spirits of Ireland.
Right.
That's what they do. They source from other places and blend them together in interesting
Mm-hmm.
expressions. I think overall, this was a complete success. Well, maybe not complete. Glendalough.
No, it's
Well,
a,
it was
but
just a little
complete.
disappointing from what your expectations were going to be.
Sure.
But you discovered 3 other really great whiskeys.
4 out of 5 whiskeys were amazing.
Oh,
and
see, even
that one was
better.
$30-something. It was like you dropped 60 on it.
No,
so
no, no.
I'm not disappointed at all. It's exactly what we thought it was.
Right.
To me, anyway.
Yeah. So thank everyone for coming. Drea, congratulations on your jacket. Welcome to the club.
Safe life in Virginia.
Yeah, safe life in Virginia. We hope to see you again.
Always.
Ed, take us out.
So we're a few weeks past St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
But we wanted to bring the message home that Irish whiskey is up and coming, and there's new expressions coming out monthly. And if you haven't revisited it in a while, because you're like, I drank my Bushmills and my Tullamore Dew and Jameson, I'm
Yeah.
done. No, go back and take another look, because every month there's some new distillery, and the distilleries that are there are making new stuff. So for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
I'm Gabe.
I'm Dre.
And I'm Shavonne.
Cheers, everybody.
Later.
If you enjoyed this podcast episode, be sure to check out our next episode, which is way better than this one. Oh, yeah. Also, follow and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Whiskey Tangent. And follow us on Twitter at Whiskey Tangent. You can follow me personally at That Whiskey Guy, and follow Scott at Giant Cup of Awesome, spelled AWSUM, just to be annoying.
Hey!
You can email us any questions, comments, or love at whiskeytangent@gmail.com. And of course, you can find us always at our podcast website, whiskeytangent.podbean.com.